welcome to TV Tuan-san News at 6. My name is Khanh Linh. In today's news, Italy's Coast Guard says over 2,000 migrants have been rescued in the central Mediterranean on Monday. Police in Vietnam continue to search for hundreds of drug addicts who escaped from a drug rehabilitation center on Sunday. A Vietnamese newspaper apologizes for an article it published that spread false public concern on the safety of fish source. To today's top story. The Italian Coast Guard on Monday said about 2,200 migrants have been rescued and 16 bodies recovered in the central Mediterranean. Coast Guard ships, fishing boats, merchant ships, and vessels from humanitarian organizations took part in the separate operations under direction of the Coast Guard Command in Rome. The central Mediterranean route between North Africa and Italy is a highly dangerous one for migrants. The International Organization for Migration estimates more than 3,000 people have gone missing or have died this year while trying to use this route to reach Europe by boat. In other world news, a new guideline from US pediatricians has found that babies should sleep in the same bedroom as their parents for at least the first 6 months of their lives to minimize the risk of sleep-related death. According to recommendations released today by the American Academy of Pediatrics, babies should stay in their parents' room at night for a full year. The guidelines stress that infants should not share a bed with their parents because there is an increased risk of sudden infant death syndrome, also known as SIDS. It also encourages skin-to-skin contact as soon as possible after birth to help prevent the disease. SIDS is the leading cause of infant mortality, killing about 3,500 babies a year in the United States alone. Prominent anti-Vietnam War activist and politician Tom Hayden has died at the age of 76 after an alleged lengthy illness. At the time of his death, Hayden was director of the California-based Peace and Justice Resources Center, a non-profit think tank that focuses on drug policy, global poverty, and U.S. military involvement in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Hayden's activism included several high-profile trips to Vietnam, which led to the release of 3 American prisoners of war by Hanoi. He won election to the California State Assembly in 1982 and to the State Senate a decade later, serving a total of 18 years as state legislator. An inquest into the investigation of how a young British backpacker died while climbing Vietnam's highest mountain has begun. 22-year-old drama graduate Aidan Webb has attempted to climb Mount Fansipan in June while traveling with his girlfriend Bluebell Bogan. Bogan claims she had received text messages from Webb saying he had hurt his arm and injured his leg in a fall. Bogan said Webb initially refused offers of help but finally asked for assistance. Webb's body was found in water several days after a search was launched. Now to an update on Sunday's mass breakout at a Vietnamese rehabilitation center. Police in Vietnam's southern province of Dong Nai are hunting for 230 drug addicts after more than 500 inmates at the rehab center escaped on Sunday night. Ho Van Lộc, Deputy Director of Dong Nai's Labor Department, said the breakout was initiated by 2 inmates and saw 562, including 58 women, break out of the center. According to media reports, police have so far recaptured 332 of the escapees and are continuing to search for the 230 others. Under Vietnam law, homeless drug addicts or any users who relapses after receiving outpatient treatment must receive a mandatory 2-year rehab sentence. There are an estimated 200,000 drug addicts in Vietnam, many of them heroin users. A Vietnamese newspaper has apologized to its readers for a series of articles now proven to have spread false public concern on the safety of fish source. Thanh Niên newspaper published 5 fish source-related articles between October the 10th and 17th, which stated that the nation's fish sources contained dangerous levels of arsenic. On Saturday, the Ministry of Health issued an official statement declaring that all of the fish source samples it tested were safe for use. In an article published on its website on Sunday, Khanh Linh said its editorial board takes responsibility for the errors and appealed for sympathy from its readers in the matter. Vietnam's former Industry and Trade Minister has been accused of abusing his power as inspectors review the perplexing rise of his son as state-owned brewer Sabeco. Vũ Huy Hoàng is facing punishment for making controversial appointments of his own son and another senior official who has fled the country in the middle of an investigation into $150 million of losses. The Central Inspection Committee said Trade Ministry has breached anti-corruption and business laws when promoting Hoàng 28-year-old son to be deputy CEO at Sabeco. It said two other senior party officials at the ministry must also be punished for their roles in the appointments. The Communist Party of Vietnam has four modes of punishment for misconduct by official members, which consists of reprimand, warning, demotion, and expulsion. Back to news in Australia. Attorney General Josh Brandis has 2 weeks to rebuild faith in Australia's top 2 legal offices after Solicitor General Justin Gleeson SC resigned yesterday. The man strongly disagreed over a legally binding direction issued by Senator Brandis before the July 2nd election. The directive prevented ministers, including the Prime Minister, seeking advice from Ms. Gleeson without the Attorney General's written approval. Senator Josh Brandis is facing renewed calls for his resignation and must now fight a new Solicitor General. Australia's richest woman Gina Rinehart has defended his joint bid with China's Shanghai CRED Real Estate for the nation's biggest cattle empire, after it was trumped by a rival all-Australian syndicate. The sale of Kidman is under the microscope amid Australia's increasingly protective stance against foreign takeovers in its agricultural sector. Kidman has an average beef herd carrying a capacity of 185,000 cattle and raising rice to a South Korea-sized area of land. The Australian government has twice rejected foreign offers for Kidman. That's all from TV Tuan-san News at 6. I'm Khanh Linh. Thank you for your company.